Hello, everybody. This is Mike Miller. Welcome to Southwest Georgia APA live stream. We're coming at you from break time here in Albany, Georgia, with team captains straight to Vegas. We have three teams today: Break Masters, Sticks and Stones, and SNB. 9 players total in the tournament, and one of those three teams will be going to Vegas at the end of today. The format here today is going to be the captain's format, which is alternating games of 8 and 9 ball with a race to 5. Each team has players, 3 players, and they're ranked based on their skill level. They have to play in order from lowest skill level to highest, and they have to remain playing in that order for each match. If there are players that have the same skill level, they can switch places. So in our first match here, we have representing Break Masters, Tina. She's a level 3. And representing Sticks and Stones, we have Brandon. He's a level 4. And we're starting off here in just a minute with 8 ball. And it looks like Tina won the lag, and she's going to go with the break. And we want to thank Break Time here in Albany for hosting the tournament today, being played on a bar box diamond table. I'll apologize in advance. My vantage point's a little further away today than usual, so I'm relying on my screen to make out which balls are which, so I may occasionally identify the wrong ball. And Tina with the break there with a dry break, and so she'll turn that over to Brandon in the black shirt here, representing Sticks and Stones. During the live feed today, I'll be referring to the table in terms of top right, top left, bottom right, as the way it appears on your screen. And here we go. Looks like Brandon's going to go side or up table here with this first ball. And he goes side. And I believe that was a stripe, so he's going to secure stripes here for this first rack. And looks like 9 to the top right. And not enough cut on that, and leaves Tina with a look here at the 7 ball. Also a possibility of the 4, but it looks like she's probably going to go with the 7 or the 8. Would be a bad idea at this point. It looks like she might be eyeing up that 6 ball to go top left corner here. All these players, she's going to make a cut on the 7 for the side and misses that. All these players here today, in order to get in the tournament, had to be team captains. And then they could put their teams together from there, from the folks that were team captains in the Southwest Georgia APA. And Brandon able to roll that 9 ball in and leave good shape here on the 14. A nice layout here, nothing touching, no real big trouble spots. Brandon does have 4 stripes there kind of all together and doesn't really put enough juice on that one. He ties himself up a bit. It looks like he's going to come around to try to get a piece of the 10 here. He's second thinking that because the 15 is up tight against the cue ball. He's going to take another look at it. And he does get the 10 into the side with a nice shot there. And now he's got to choose between the 11 and possibly the cut on the 12. And looks like he's going to choose the 11. He would like to play a stop shot here, but with the cue ball up against the rail, that's a little tough to do, so he may just roll it past and then cut the 13 in. I believe that's the 13. Shannon, welcome to the feed. And Shannon's here today, and she's checking the feed for me. If you're viewing this on YouTube later, please hit that like and subscribe button. And Brandon wants to ease this one into the corner. And now he's got a nice look at the 15. 8 ball on the rail right by where he's standing, so he's going to want to either come off the end rail a little or maybe draw this back. And he kind of gets down on it, lines up, then decides he's going to pull up. And it looks like his co-teammate there is calling a timeout. Frankie is going to give him a little bit of advice on this shot, try to make sure he doesn't end up without a look on that 8 ball. So now Brandon back down on it after the advice from Frankie. And 15 gets caught up in the knuckles as he tries to go off the right bottom rail with some English and hit that one just a little bit too hard. Also was hung up on the 8 ball. Probably wouldn't have been better just to kind of slow roll that into the pocket. He would have had a pretty good angle on the 8. But it looked like he was trying to come around more and get more angle, maybe a little closer. But now Tina with a chance here. She's got a lot of work to do. Going to roll that up past the 5 for a nice leave on the 1. Should be able to pocket the 1 here and then come back to the 5 in the corner where she's standing. And Tina with a nice stroke for a 3. She's a very strong 3. And settles into the 5 ball and puts it into the jaws. Maybe rush that one just a little bit, but we'll see how the rest of the rack progresses here. Brandon looking at the 15 ball in the pocket. You have to hit these soft sometimes. The ball will really take off because you don't really get a lot of meat of the ball you're hitting. And puts a little bit of, looks like right side English on it. And after contact, the cue ball settles in and it looks like it may be hooked on the knuckle. He's going to look out at that 8 ball, but I'm not sure if it's hooked. He may not be able to go directly at the 8. And Brandon goes with a Very tricky kick shot there and just can't get out around the 3 ball, hits that. And so Tina with 5 on the table plus the 8. Ball in hand here. That was a scratch 8, excuse me, a scratch 8, so that's going to be a win for Breakmasters. And that's going to put them up 1-0. And so next up here, we're going to have Bart representing Breakmasters and skill level 5, and Frankie representing Sticks and Stones for the first rack of 9-ball here. And in this race to 5, the score is 1-0. If you're watching on the chat or on the live feed, feel free to leave a comment. It looks like they're getting the paperwork straightened out here. Players with a fist pump there to get started. Bart with the break here for the Breakmasters. 9-ball is not points. This is in captain's format. It's whoever makes the 9 wins the match. 9-ball to break in any pocket will win the match. And that 9-ball was headed to the quarter but caught up in traffic. 1 ball won't fall on the side, and that's going to be a dry break for Bart. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Ryan playing. Ryan and Frankie are both 5, so they put Ryan in the number 2 spot. So it's Ryan shooting for Sticks and Stones. And Ryan can't get the 1 ball to go down. It's going to peek out just a little bit there off the rail, and I think Bart may be looking at a kick shot here with the 8 blocking. And makes good contact with the 1. Avoids the ball in hand, but does leave Ryan a straight in look here on the 1. He'll probably run this pass towards that bottom right corner and then come back up table for the 2. And catches the right side knuckle on that one. And surprising miss there. Now Bart looking at a cut on the 1 or a bank. 4 ball is probably far enough away from that corner top right for it to go. And looks like that may be what Bart's thinking. And the 1 ball does go in there. Hard to get shape on the 2 after that shot, though. So he's got looking at the 2 directly against the rail. He's got the 5 near the side on the bank. If he misses a little wide, he can make the 5. Off the 5 and the 2 goes in. A nice shot there. And now he has a direct look at the 3 for maybe another bank. And that's 3 banks in a row for Bart to start this 9-ball game. He's shooting quite well on the banks there. And now he's looking at a 4 ball that's not straight in. It might be, again, another bank. And he goes for the down the rail, but catches the top rail. And the 4 ball is going to roll out maybe just enough for Ryan to see it to the bottom left-hand corner. But he does have to avoid the scratch here. So he may be looking at playing a defensive shot. If you tuned in on YouTube, we welcome you to the video. I hope you enjoy watching and listening today. And if you will hit that like and subscribe button, we would appreciate it. This is Southwest Georgia APA, straight to Vegas, Captain's Tournament. And Ryan with a kick shot here at the 4, makes contact. And the 4 is going to be in position now where Bart may be able to slide it into that bottom right corner, or he may go for another bank back to the bottom left. He's looking at the lead for the 5 ball if he does pocket it. It looks like Bart's going to go for a kick shot here on the 4 and gets inside the 4 but avoids the scratch. And Ryan coming out of the corner onto the 4 now. Best option probably top left. Ryan gives that one a roll, goes off the 6 ball and in, but kicks the 6 back into line with the 8, and now he's looking at the 5 here. Maybe a tight cut into the side pocket where he's standing. And then he would want to come around 3 rails to get back around for the 6, or possibly leave the cue ball on that top rail after making the 5. Tight, delicate cut here. Usually want to roll these slow so it doesn't hit that knuckle and then pop right back out. And Ryan hits that a little hard and he goes into the 3. I'm not sure if he was trying to, or the 7, excuse me. Not sure if he was trying to carom that off the 7 or if it just hit it by mistake. And now Bart with a chance here with a good look at the 5 to the top left, and cue ball is going to naturally go into a lead for the 6. And Bart hits that one just a little short into the rail, and now Ryan's going to have a much easier shot here for the 5. And then off the left rail and then down for the 6 in the side. And Ryan with a good chance here to run these out if he could get this 5 ball down with the 8 and the 9 close to the pockets. And the 6 in a good position for a leave off this 5 ball shot. And nice smooth stroke there. He kind of over rolls it a little bit and gets deep on the 6 ball. Taps his cue there. He was hoping cue ball would have checked up a little, but he does have a chance here with a cut or a bank for the 6. I would likely go with the bank here, just have better shape for the 7. And if you miss the bank, maybe the 6 gets in a bad spot. So we'll see what he goes with. Looks like he goes for the bank, hits it very nicely, and does get a shape on the 7. And he's looking at bottom right for this cut right here. And maybe a little bit worried about the scratch, but if he either puts a little bottom on it or slow rolls it, he should be fine. And looks like Ron's representing the Albany Panthers marching band today with his shirt. Ryan goes for the long bank down by the 8-ball. And the 8 does kick out and block the 7. So Bart would be looking at a rail cut here, possibly off the end rail. So maybe a two-way shot there by Ryan. Worried about that cut. And Bart's going to call a timeout here. And teammate Lane is going to come over and they're going to assess the situation and see if they can come to a solution here on the 7-ball. It's a tough shot to make from that position, but it is makeable. And with only 3 balls left on the table, defense, there's not a very clear option there, but maybe they came up with something and Bart's down on it now. He's going to go around the 7, avoids the scratch, 7 kicks onto the 8. And now Ryan with the chance to run that 7 into top left corner. And it looks like he's picked his spot. And goes with a strong shot and cuts it not enough. And that's going to come back around nicely for Bart. And he should be able to get this 7, 8, 9 down right here and put his team up 2-0. Puts a 7 in, no problem. A little bit of back English to lead the 8. Slides the 8 in, and now a little bit down the rail here for the 9. And he pockets that one, no problem. So that's going to put the Breakmasters up 2-0 in this race to 5 captains format. And coming up next, we're going to have Lane, a skill level 7. Versus Frankie, skill level 5. In captain's format, the only bearing your rank has is the order in which you play. Your least ranked player must play first, and your highest, and then in order from rank from lowest to highest in order of play. So Lane being 7 will play in the number 3 spot here. And Frankie and Ryan are both 5, so each match they can decide who's going to play in the 2nd or 3rd spot. And Frankie's in the 3rd spot with Ryan in the 2nd spot. And you still see Frankie there. And Lane will be in a salmon-colored polo. And Frankie in a black and white. The next game here will be 8-ball for game number 3. We alternate between 8 and 9-ball. And Frankie gets everything settled down. His opponent racks here. And it looks like he went with an alternating solid stripes rack. And now Lane is going to break. Lane has a pretty powerful break and skill level 7 here. Goes with the direct 1-ball break, makes the 9, it looks like. Nice. A little bit of a pop break there. Everything's spread out nicely here, nothing touching. No significant trouble spots. And Lane with stripes. All the stripes somewhat in the middle of the table. Second diamond or above, nothing below the second diamonds right now. Looks like Lane's going to start with 14, top right corner. And a nice roll there. I believe that was the 15 into the side, and now he'll work on the 10 ball. He's going to take a look at the 11 and the 12. Lane is a very methodical player. He tends to look all around for all his options. Nice shot there. And to come around, he's got the 13 right there in the middle of the table. So 11, 12, 13 left to go. And he's lining up on the 12 here. And a good shot there. May have overrolled that a little bit. Wants to cut that 13 into the side, but then stay down for the 9. And a nice shot there, but a little bit long, and that's going to miss. Get close into the 8 and create a little traffic there on the 8-ball. Good leave. Frankie with the 3-ball cut here. He'd also may be able to see the 2 down the rail to the top left, and he's got the 1 in the side. So lots of options for Frankie. And makes the 1. Excuse me, that was the 5 and came up rail for the 1 here. And no problem with that shot. Now he's got the 4-6-3 and a little arc there in the middle. And looks like he's going to take the 6 out of the middle. He's going to play a stop shot on that. Take a look at the 3 bottom right or the 4 in the side. 7-2 on the top rail, kind of close together. And the 2 out farther than the 7 makes it difficult to shoot a combo there into that corner where he's standing later on. He could play just a little bit of a draw here and leave himself set up on the 4 with the possibility of a breakout. But it looks like he's going to go top English and come all the way back up table maybe. We'll see what we got. Makes the 3 with a lot of bottom, comes around, bumps the 4, and gets all the way up here. He does have a look at a 3 bank here, which may be the option he's going to go with to separate the 2 and the 3, and a nice stroke there to make that ball. Again, if he makes the 4 bottom right, he could cut himself into a block on the 2 behind the 8 and the 11. Got to be a little bit careful there. So he may opt for another bank shot here on the 2 or a defensive shot here. He could play the 2 into the top rail and try to pin the cue ball behind it, but it looks like he may be going for the bank bottom left. And he's able to get that down in a nice slow roll bank. And now he's looking at the 4 to cut right between the 13, and I believe that's the 9, into the top left side. And that could leave him with nice shape for bottom left corner on the 8 or top right corner. He wants it to sit down, and it does sit down a little bit. And I think he still has enough room there to get by the 11 and put the 8 ball into the top right and get his team on the board. Frankie goes with the opposite corner cut. I guess he felt like he didn't have room to get around the 11, and he can't put that in. So Lane with a chance here. And he's got the 13 and the 11 left on the table. Only option's the 13 without kicking, and that's what he's going to go with. And a beautiful stroke there to make the 13. And now bottom left for the 11. He may put a little bit of English on this to get it to come out a bit for shape on the 8. He may follow it and into the 8. Might naturally just go right by the 8 ball. There it goes. And the 11 sticks in. The pocket will not fall. And tough break there, although Lane did possibly over-roll that a bit. And now Frankie will step up to shoot the 8 ball shot that Lane was hoping to have. Bottom right. It's not a routine cut here. It's a little close, but we'll see how he does with it. And nice move on it. Looks like it might be a little short, though, into the knuckles. And now Lane with a good chance here to put his team up 3-0 in this race to 5. And Lane's probably just going to come off the rail. Yep. Give himself a little angle. Nice position here on this 8 ball. Down on it, steps into it. Smooth stroke makes the 8, and that's going to put Breakmasters up 3-0. So with the first 3 matches down, we'll go back up to the top of the order for Tina for Breakmasters and Brandon for Sticks and Stones. And Brandon with an unfortunate scratch 8 on the first game with Tina. And this time we're looking at 9 ball. Nothing goes down, and not the perfect layout here for a run. 1, 2, 3 look good. Once you get into the 5, 6, 7, 8, a little bit difficult there with the proximity of all the balls together in the middle of the table. But we'll see what Brandon can do with it here. And tough shot off the rail there. Nice cut, and that's going to go down. He's going to cut this in. He needs to put some power on it if he wants to move the 6 ball out of the way and get all the way over to that top rail, or he's going to have to go with some draw. He's going to try to go right over top of the 6 ball when he makes the 2 to try to get over to that top rail. Will make contact with the 6, but he wants to stay free on the 3, and doesn't work out. Gets hung up behind the 5 and the 8. And so now he may be going off the end rail on a kick shot here. A little defense. And makes contact with the 3, kind of comes around it and cuts it a bit. And Tina's going to have a nice look at the 3 into the side. She's going to have to get that cue ball to the top rail, maybe between the diamond closest to the side pocket or a little bit deeper from that to get the angle on the 4. It's a small window there between the 6 and the 7 to the 4. She doesn't hit that enough. And she may be able to go to the right of the 7 ball into the 4. And if she does, she'll contact the 9 here. There goes the 9. 9 goes around the table and doesn't go in the side. And Brandon here with a look at the 4 ball into top right corner. Again, needs to come out and around for the 5. If he can come back to the middle diamond where he's standing, he might have a 5-9 combo chance to knock this game out. He also might try to go behind the 6 and just get the 5 into the bottom right corner. He's going to draw it back, and he is going to have a look at the 5. 5-9 combo would be really tough here. He possibly is going top left corner. We'll see what he does here. He may cut it and go for it. And he has second thoughts. He's going to look at that 5-9 combo. He's trying to knock this game out. One shot here. And cuts the 5, misses the 9, almost scratches. And unsuccessful there, and Tina will take over. Pretty straight in here on the 5 ball to bottom left. And she needs to get that cue ball to come out some so she can see the 6 between the 7 and the 9 to go to the top right corner. And a good shot there, takes it to the end rail. The 5 acting like it didn't want to go in and then fell in at the last second. And she does have a look here to cut the 6 into the top right. Cue ball is going to try to come straight across towards the 8 ball. Going to go behind the 8 and leave Brandon with a tricky shot here on the 6. Could cut this to the side. He could possibly cut it into the 9 to try to carry him into the side. And off Brandon looked like he was trying to maybe go off the 9, but missed the 9. And now Tina looking at a kick shot here behind the 8 ball. A lot of open table between the rail and the 6. And she may call her timeout here, and she does. And Lane comes over to give her some advice on this kick. And it looks like they're trying to go for a 2-rail kick here. And just barely missed it by about half a ball. That's going to be ball in hand for Brandon with 4 to go here. And he needs to put these down to get a point for his team. And Brandon trying to plan to run out here. Looks like he's going to start maybe 6 on the side, 7 top right, maybe 8 bottom right, and 9 in the side to finish it out. Welcome everybody on YouTube. If you're watching and you want to leave a comment, I can see all your comments live here on my screen. And Brandon with a nice shot there. And now the 7 to top right. Couple different ways to play this one. Gets the cut but misses it, and had a tough cut on the 8 or bank there, and not a bad leave there with the 7 up near the top rail there, left rail. And Tina's looking at possibly a bank back to where she's standing, and she does go for that but cuts it a little bit too much. Brandon here with the 7, and if he hits it just center ball, he'll push the 8 toward the pocket. And nice shot there to make it, the 8 going towards the bottom right, and now just the 8-9 to get a point for his team. Goes for the bank on the 8 and does not cut it enough. And it just comes straight back. May have had a little bit of English on there that caused the 8 to lose its angle. So Tina here with the 8 ball in the corner with a little bit of back English just to stop it there or pull it back a little. She should have an easy shot here on the 9 to put her team up on the hill. Hits that a little strong, and the 8 comes back across off the knuckles, and it's going to leave Brandon with a good chance here now to get a point for his team, Sticks and Stones. Doesn't have to hit this hard, just has to get it off the rail enough to be able to put that 9 ball on the side. And he makes the 8, comes all the way back to this rail with a nice angle there for the 9. And low-level players always got to be a little careful here. That 9 ball scratch into the upper left corner. If you hit it too hard, it's going to go that way, but he eases it in there. And that's going to be a point for Sticks and Stones. And that's going to make our match 3-1 in this race to 5. And now coming up, we're going to have Bart and Ryan again. And this time they'll be facing off in 8 ball. And Bart's getting them racked up here, and Ryan will have the break. And Sticks and Stones trying to get another point on the board here and looking to even this thing up at 3-3 if they can get two in a row. And a break Masters. Looking to get another point to go on the hill. And Ryan here with a just slightly offline break directly on the 3-ball, but really doesn't get much action on it. And it's going to be a messy rack here for Bart and Ryan. And nothing went down, so whoever makes the next ball will, without a foul, will determine who has solids and who has stripes. Bart could go with the 3-ball here, secure solids, or maybe the 9. Looks like he's going to go with the 3 with 3 solids kind of out in the open. But that cluster is going to have to get broken up eventually, so neither one of them is really very great. He's going to go for the 2-ball bank or 6-ball bank, and a beautiful bank shot there by Bart. Goes ahead and gets solids and now has a stripe or a shot coming back down to the bottom right. Maybe looking to break something out here. Nope. He's going to leave a good angle on the 2 for a breakout. And you got to watch that 8-ball on these breakouts. He doesn't put a lot of power in it, and it's going to cause the cue ball to kind of stall in the cluster. Broke it up a little, freeing a couple more solids with the 4 popping out, but unfortunately for Bart, he doesn't really have a great shot here and is going to have to possibly play some kind of defense. Looks like he's going to go to the bridge and maybe shoot at the 1 or the 4. And Bart plays defense here, just tapping the 1 to the rail, and Frankie here with, Ron here with a straight in shot on the 9-ball. Can come back around for the 11 or the 13 to get started on the stripes. And he bumps the 11. It comes on out. It's going to line up with the side. And that will most likely be his next shot choice, with coming out too far for the 13. If he does cut the 11 into the side, it's going to come back towards the cluster. And he could have a shot on the 13 coming out of there. He could play this with a little bit of power into the cluster to try to break things up a little bit more. But he may just ease the 11 in, try to get some shape. Now he's going to go for the cut bank on the 11. And I believe that was most likely a defensive shot. And leaving Bart only a look at his 1-ball there at the rail. Possibly could see the 4. Definitely needs to break things up here and get some more of his solids near pockets. And he's going to bump the 1 down the rail, get it a little closer to a pocket, and He's going to leave Ryan with the 13 in the side. And a little draw here would leave shape for the 11. Or he could go with some follow English for the 10. And he's going to play a little stop shot there for the 11 in the same pocket. Or the 11 up the rail. And it looks like he's going to go with a bottom right English and the 11 to the top left corner. And a nice shot there coming around. And you can see the 15 ball coming out of the top of the cluster there. And he may play defense here. And he's calling over league operator Teddy Waller with a question. He's going to have him watch the shot here to make sure he contacts that 15 first. Nice shot there into the side, and from my screen it looked like a good shot. League operator Teddy Waller says good shot. So we continue on. And now Ryan looking at a bank here on the 10 ball. Chance here to come back into the cluster and break things up a bit with the 14 there. On top of the 1, and I believe that's the 12 left. And the 10 ball is going to just barely catch the cue ball off the rail, and that's going to send it off course enough so that it won't go in that side. And now Bart with a chance here to get a few more solids down and maybe break things up a bit. Definitely has the 1 ball down the rail. Not sure about the 4. It looks like Bart might be thinking about a carom off the 1 into the 4. He goes with defense, does not make a rail after contact, so that's going to be ball in hand to Ryan. And Bart slides the cue ball down to the top of the table for him. And now Ryan can make a plan to try to get these last 3 stripes down before getting on the 8. Biggest problem right now is the 14 and the 5 on top of the 8 ball. Best option here would probably be to set something up on the 10 to come back into that 5 ball and knock the 14 towards the side. And maybe shoot from the bottom side here and cut the 10 and then come back into the 5. Possibly has a straight shot to the top left corner on the 12. Not sure from my angle here that would go. And it looks like he's going to go with a cut on the 10. Top left corner, and then maybe back into the cluster to hit the 5 and get the 14 to come out towards the side. Taking his time here, trying to make a plan, trying to break something out. It looks like he's decided what to do. He's going to go right over top of everything, and 10 ball's not going to go in, but not a bad leave here with all 3 of Bart's solids behind the cluster in the middle. Looks like the 7 ball could peel off into that top right. Bart hasn't walked around here and taken a look at that yet. Looks to me from my angle here that it will go by the 12. He's going to go down and take a closer look, picks up the chalk. I think I would go for that 7 ball, get it out from behind the 8. Could could possibly combo the 4 into the 1 and move the 1 ball closer to the pocket. He looks like he's going to go for a rail kick on the 1, gets the 1, knocks the 4 out, but the 1 goes into the cluster, and the 4 is free now. So kind of a little bit of an exchange there, and Bart with the 1-5 in the cluster and a 3-4 out. And Ron here looking at the cue ball right up on the 10. Should be no problem just to come down on top of the cue ball a little bit and pop that 10 into the corner. He's got to be a little careful of the scratch here. He could hit this straight into the bottom left, but he puts enough English on it that it's going to come on around. And now he's looking at a cut on that 12 ball to the bottom right. If he plays that cut with a little top, he might be able to come back up into the 1-5 and get to 14 loose. We'll see what happens. Gets the 12 short on the rail, and now it's going to come back up table. And position about 3 balls from the cluster. And slowly but surely, we're chipping them out of the cluster here in this 8-ball match. This APA Captains Tournament for Straight to Vegas. There are 3 teams today, non-players. And so these teams all have a 1-3 shot going to Vegas today. You had to be a team captain to qualify for the tournament. So, and for 2 sessions. And so get you a team together and start playing some APA, and then maybe you could have this easy, low or good odds chance here in the tournament to go to Vegas. So as a team captain, that's one of your perks. And it's also a lot of fun to be a team captain. Done it before myself, and it had a lot of enjoyment from it. And Ryan here getting started to this side pocket here on the 14. He's got 3 to go. Gets that in, gives the 12 a little bump, and rolls up past the 4. I think he wanted the 12 same pocket. He should be able to go bottom left corner here. And getting on the 8 is going to be the problem. He would really like to leave the cue ball right where it's sitting now after this shot for that easy 8 ball into the bottom right corner. It's going to be tough to make the 8 and get the cue back to that location. I'm going to play some bottom English here. It's likely going to come down table towards the bottom of the bottom. Yep, and he misses the 12, and the 1's going to roll in, so accidentally makes one of Bart's balls, and now Bart with 4 to go, with 3 solids and the 8 ball. And Bart lining up the 7 for top side pocket. Should be able to come right back down the table possibly for the 4. Goes off the right left knuckle. So just hit that just a tad short, and not a bad lead there with the 4 blocking the 12. And Ron looking at a kick shot here to avoid giving Bart ball in hand. And Ryan going for an end rail kick here to the 12. And can't get around the 1. Bart here, ball in hand. With 4 to go in 8 ball. Skill level 5, so should be able to make 4 balls. And Bart laying out his plan here. I believe if it was me, I would go 7 bottom left, 5 to where he's standing. 4 ball, bottom side, 8 ball, bottom right. Or 7 top left, 5 top left. You got to be able to get an angle to come around on that 4. So the 4 is really the problem here, and he may go with it first. Maybe 4 bottom sides. A lot of options here. He's going to start with the 7. And the more I look at it, the more I think I probably would have started with the 4 because of the 12-8 being in the way and taking away so many options on the 4. And he makes the 5, and he's going to line up for the 7. Top left, but he's going to have a hard time holding that down, so he's going to have to come around the 8 and then back for the 4. And he gets the 7 in, goes past the 8, headed toward the corner for a scratch. But it's going to hold up. Now a long shot out of the corner for the 4. Could go side, could go top right corner. Good shot there to the side, comes back. Had to put a lot of power on that to get it in there. And narrowly misses bottom right and top left corner for the scratch. And now a lot of green here for the 8 ball to put his team on the hill. Not really a scratch issue here, but tough bridge right out of the pocket. At the bridge up on the rail. And he's going to mark not exactly straight in, has a little bit of a cut. He's got to get on it here. And Bart gets down into the shot. And misses that top side on the first diamond. And now Ryan with a good chance here if he can just pocket this 15. Maybe leave the cue ball on that top rail and then have a nice angled shot for the 8. Cue ball is going to go naturally towards that side pocket, but I don't think he's going to have a scratch issue. If he hits it too hard and comes down under the 8, that's going to be his only problem. If he makes it, and a nice move there, makes it, hits it a little hard, comes down under the 8, and doesn't come back out far enough. So he's got a really, really, really tight cut to the bottom left, or he's looking at a bank shot into the corner where he's standing. Or he could try the 2-rail bank to the top side. And it looks like he's going to go for his timeout here and get teammate Frankie to come over and help him make the decision. With the 8 ball being off the rail, I would go for the bottom right-hand corner bank shot. Although I have seen the cut into the rail halfway between the diamond and the pocket and then come around to the bottom rail and then middle top corner, or side, excuse me. And he has not marked yet. Oh, yes, he has marked bottom right corner, which we talked about just a minute ago. Speed will cut down the angle. Probably going to put a pretty good move on this. And he doesn't like it. He's going to stand up on it. And now back down. And puts it right into the bottom rail there on the right side rail, right when he hit it, and it's going to line up perfectly on the side for Bart. So tough break there for Frankie. Excuse me, for Ryan. But he made a good effort, and Bart should be able to put this one home with no problem. And that's going to make our score Breakmasters 4, Sticks and Stones 1 in this race to 5 captains format. And then coming up in the next match will be the big hitters again. We got Lane, skill level 7, and we have Ryan, skill level 5. Excuse me, Frankie, skill level 5. And Breakmasters here want to get this one down and go ahead and end this first match and move on with a win. Sticks and Stones looking up the hill. Got to make 4 games in a row. And Frankie getting a 9-ball rack tight there. Lane with a good 9-ball break here. Has been known to make the 9 on the break. Could end it right here. Powerful pop break. 9 headed towards the side, but doesn't quite make it there. And nothing goes in, but the 1-5 nestled together. Frankie may have a hard time getting a make here. And he goes with a defensive shot and misses the 1 ball completely, and that's going to give Lane ball in hand. And not much of a better situation for Lane, and no improvement on the situation by the miss. And Lane, like Frankie, may be looking at playing defense here. Could possibly come behind the 1 and send it towards the 2 at the side for a combo, or even a cut bank. And while Lane works on this one, I'm taking a quick break. I'll be right back. You guys enjoy the action. And Lane decides to play defense there, bumping the one to the side. And now leaving Frankie at a look at a bank shot into that 2. And a good shot there for the 1-2 combo off the bank. One's going to come back up table and line up nicely for the bottom left corner. And a little bottom draw here. He's going to go with the top off the rail for the 3. And now just wants to make that 3, maybe pop this out to the middle of the table for the 4. And a little bit of a stretch over. Gets that, it's going to go rail to rail. Coming back, and kind of drifts a little bit more to the top rail. And now he's got a long cut shot here on the 4. And needs it to come around and get out of trouble for the 5. Misses the pocket to the right. And now Lane here with a chance to run these out. He's got the 4 up the rail, naturally coming across for the 5 in the corner. And 6, 7, 8 are looking good as well, so we'll see what happens here. He could run these out. Nice shot there on the 4. He's going to get it inside the 5, and then the spin is just going to take it and turn it right into the corner pocket for the scratch. So unfortunate break there and for Lane, but a good break there for Frankie with 4 balls to go in this non-ball game. 5 balls to go, excuse me. Frankie puts the 5 ball into the left knuckle, and it just spins back and forth, trying to get back on the 6 ball. Unlucky there. And now Lane wants to take advantage here. He needs to back this up to get some angle on the 6. Does so. Nice shot there. And now he's got 6 off the rail, and he's probably going to come off towards the top corner pocket with the cue ball for the 7. And misses that off the knuckles. And now with 4 balls to go, Frankie with a 6 ball cut here into the side. Got to get this all the way back up table for the 7. Nice shot there. It's going to come off that end rail. Needs it to run a little. Not going to do it. And he's got a pretty long back cut here. Or a cut bank. Goes for the back cut. Almost scratches. And 7's going to line up for Lane with 3 to go. Lane likely will play just a little bit of bottom on this. Stick that cue ball right there where the 7 is, and then go for 8 in the side, or he may go off the end rail here. He goes off the end rail and leaves himself a really nice shot there on the 8. And now the decision where to put the cue ball after the 8. Probably going bottom right with the 9 ball after this shot. Yep, he's going to play a stop shot there on the 8 and leaves himself the option of the cut or the side cut. But unfortunately, with the position, he's probably going to have to cut it into the side or else play a lot of English to avoid the scratch. He's looking at the 9 cut. It's going to require a harder shot with some spin. And that looks like the way he's going to go. Tough to avoid the scratch on this shot. Lane avoids the scratch but misses the shot, and that's sometimes the case when you try to do that. It's difficult to get that much spin, get the cue stick in the right place on the cue ball and still make the shot. Now Frankie's looking at a tight shot down the rail to make the 9, and that's going to make Sticks and Stones 2, Breakmasters 4. And we're going to move back up to the top of the order now with Tina and Brandon facing off. Yeah, John, that was a tough one. They went back and forth. Thanks for joining the Facebook feed. We appreciate you. You're watching Team Captain Straight to Vegas. We have 3 teams here today. Had to be a captain on an APA team for 2 sessions to be able to qualify to be on a team. And then folks put their teams together from that pool of people. And we are in the first match of the tournament. Race to 5, so Breakmasters on the hill here with Tina representing Breakmasters with the rack there, and Brandon representing Sticks and Stones. And Brandon with the straight on break here. Drops a stripe. Another stripe. Brandon with stripes here. And Brandon plays a little draw shot there. I believe that was the 15 that went down. And now he's pretty much looking at the bank on the 13 here with the 2 kind of in the way for the cut. We're going to play some top English and come out over top of the 2. And catches the 2. After contact, I believe. And now Tina will take over on the solids. 6 balls tied up a bit there. Probably going to look at that 2 right behind the 8 ball. Checking out the 7 as well. Should have no problem sliding this 2 behind the 8. Catches the knuckle and bumps the 8 out a little bit from the pocket so everybody can sleep a little easier. But does leave Brandon with a 11 ball shot here right down the rail. And he's going to be able to come across the table and maybe break out. I believe his 9 ball is what's up against the 6 there. Gets it over that way, bumps the 9, and then scrapes up against the 11. And now he does have a chance at the 9, and normally he would be looking top right, but the 3 ball deep in that pocket. So he may be looking to go the other way in the top left corner. Or our bottom left, excuse me, from our perspective there. He's taking his time on this one. And just puts it into the middle of the rail. And maybe a bit of a defense shot there, I'm not sure. And now Tina looking at the 4 into her 3 ball there. Top left from our perspective. Needs to slow roll it in there and replace the 3 with the 4. Any contact's pretty much going to drop that 3 ball. She definitely doesn't want to power it. And 4 ball catches the knuckle, comes across, and kicks a 7 into the bottom side pocket here. So Tina's not going to complain about that, and she's going to keep on shooting. Should have a look here at the 1 ball in this bottom right corner, but she's going to go ahead and pocket her 3. No stripes around it, so really not a bad choice here to pocket that one and try to get a better shot on something else. And does a nice job coming over for the 2 ball here. With the 2 and the 4 close together, it's definitely a troubled ball. So should be able to get this in. I'm not sure if she'll go corner and try drawing it back, or she'll go side and maybe try to make the 4, but it looks like she's going to go corner. If she plays a stop shot, she'll have the 4 into the top right. 2 won't go, it's going to rattle around, but I think it's in there enough that 9 won't slide behind it for Brandon. And now he's looking at the 14 ball in the middle of the table. And he took a look at that 2 ball, not too excited about the fact that the 9 doesn't go behind it. He wants to break up that 6 ball, get it out of the way. There's other stripe positioned right there by the top right corner. If you're watching on Facebook, thanks for being here. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. I can see them all live here on my screen. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And now Brandon, after that shot, has a chance here on the 11. Excuse me, the 9. Sorry, the 13. It's hard to see the ball colors from the distance I am away from the table here. With the 9 and the 13 left, now that it rolled over, I can see the orange. And now Tina here with a decision to make. She really doesn't want to move that 2 ball because it's blocking that 9 from going into that corner. Best shot here would probably be to go straight up the table on the 1. And then Brandon would have a tough time if she misses it, coming back down on the 6 with the 13, blocking that pocket. Excuse me, Brandon would have a hard time getting to the 13 around the 6. 4 ball also an option here. And it looks like she's going to go 1 ball. Could put it in the side. Goes up table and makes a nice shot there and leaves good shape for the 5 or the 4. And she's going to choose the 5. It should go off the end rail, and if she hits it hard enough, could come around for the 4. And 5 ball just will not fall out of the jaws. And holds up right there. And now Brandon does have a look at that 13 in the corner. And he could possibly play English to drive the cue ball back around toward the 9. Maybe break it out or move the 2. I'd probably go for a timeout here to confirm my English. This is a shot that I have a lot of trouble with, trying to move that cue ball out and around. He's going to take a look at what's going on there. Or is it pinned against the rail, or is there a little daylight? I believe the shot here to get it to Danon is top left. And he scratches. Got a little bit too much meat of the 13 ball. And now Tina here with an opportunity to put this one away and secure the win for her team. Needs a strategy. Might be a good idea here. Replace the 5 with the 4 and make the 6 2 and then the 8 inside. May call a timeout here. Be a good chance for the timeout. Make a good plan for these last 5 balls. Teammates looking over her, talking about maybe calling a timeout. And it looks like she's going to go 4 side, which is fine. And then she'll have the 5 after that. Another decision here. With that leave, she could make the 2 and come up table and have a pretty decent shot at the 6, but I think the 5 is her best option here. She's got to make sure she hits this hard with some bottom if she does not want to scratch, and she does so. Going towards the rail for a nice leave on the 6. Beautiful shot there by Tina. She can pocket this 6 and not roll the cue ball too far down toward the rail and get stuck behind the 9, she'll be in really good shape to win this game. And misses the 6, but the 6 comes back, kisses the cue ball and blocks Brandon from being able to see the 9, so he's looking at a kick shot here to avoid giving Tina ball in hand with 3 to go, and both of her solids near pockets. And cue ball up onto rails makes the English a little more difficult on the kick shot. But he should be able to go to that first diamond with some left side English, spin it towards the 9 ball. Needs to try to get as far down as he can on that rail, but he's got to avoid hitting the 6. And sometimes you'll look right past the ball that's close to your cue ball there at your mark, and you'll end up hitting that ball right close to your cue ball. So hopefully he doesn't do that. That mark where he's got his stick right now looks a little bit too far down the rail to me. But we'll see if he can get there. And see where it hits on the rail. Got the right English on it. If he misses, he may scratch. And he does scratch. He hit it right at the diamond, maybe a little bit slower to let that English do its thing. But now Tina here with a chance to secure the first match in this team captains tournament, straight to Vegas, and the team captains format. I believe I would have taken the 2 ball first with the position of the 8 ball. Tina telling it to settle down a little bit. She should be able to hit this 2, and she really wants to get it almost back to the rail to where she's standing. If she puts some left English on it, she can cut down on how far out that's going to come, but it should naturally come toward the middle of the table. She hits it really soft, and now she's looking at a cut here for the 8 instead of that close by side pocket. And she marks the bottom left. Got to be weary here of the scratch. This is not an easy shot for really anybody in APA. Maybe a few 9s, 8s out there can make this one pretty routinely, but it's a pretty tough cut. Slower the better on this one. She hits it nice and slow towards the pocket. It's going to go in, and that's going to be a win for the Breakmasters in the first game here. Get my score to register. Woo. Registering a lot. Breakmasters are going to take that one 5-2, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with the next match. We'll be closing out this stream and restarting the stream for each match. Thank you for watching this first one. Stay tuned for match number 2 of this Straight to Vegas Team Captains format.